From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Governor Sean Parnell signed a slew of bills into law today in Anchorage. Now, the most contentious legislation signed today was SB 21, oil tax reform legislation.
Opponents of the bill say it is a giveaway of state dollars to big oil companies, while proponents of the measure say it will incentivize increased production, both from legacy fields and new development. Protesters demonstrated outside the Denina Center during the special signing ceremony. Governor Parnell commended this year's legislative session as numerous oil, gas, and energy resource legislation was passed.
Alaska Production Act, we did something meaningful for Alaskans' benefit to turn around guaranteed production decline. With permitting reform, we've unlocked opportunity for more jobs and more revenue sooner. And with HB 4, AGDC gas line legislation, we're another step closer to getting Alaskans gas to Alaskans first.
In the second part of KTVF's conversation with 2010 U.S. senatorial candidate Joe Miller, News Center 11's Daryl Lewis talked with Miller about why he feels change is badly needed in Washington, D.C. However, one longtime Alaska lawmaker had choice words for Miller should he decide to run.
What is your response to, that part of the country that says, that's a scary dude right there and all this, and I know you've heard it before.
Well, I think it's important for people to understand it's pretty scary to continue to go down the road that Obama has laid for us. I mean, I think that when we talk about extremes and you see what Obama has done over the last several years, the term and almost a half that he's been in office now, that the changes that have been affected are extreme. And those are the things that people, I think, are increasingly concerned about. I suppose one of the debates that's being had right now internally in my group is, well, do we shave the beard? Will that make me appear a little more friendly? So we're kind of running this informal poll, and we may make it a broader poll. Should the beard stay or go?
Now, as mentioned, Joe Miller says the time for new blood in D.C. is long past due.
I think it's absolutely time for new blood. I think that anybody that's more concerned about, the powers that be, rather than the people that they serve, those are people that need to go. They need to understand that people aren't taking it anymore. They recognize that the times and the stakes are high, and that if we don't get new blood, that the end result for this country is not going to be positive.
But according to one longtime Alaska lawmaker, Joe Miller's not the man for the job.
Bless Joe's heart, I don't even call his blood new. I call it rerun. It's very difficult to represent the state of Alaska because people don't really get along or get together. It's my job trying to bring them together, and I've done that. And I don't think, Joe can do that, and he's welcome to try it, and we'll just have a lot of fun if he does.
The Joe Miller that I want people in Alaska to understand is one that has children that are in the game, that absolutely want to have a future, and that the reason I'm driven politically is to make sure that they do have a future, that the people in the state have a future.
For years, there has been a healthy disagreement between the University of Alaska Fairbanks and the University of Alaska Anchorage. Both schools recently concluded that this philosophy doesn't benefit either school, so now they have adopted a united we stand, divided we fall concept. This seems to have developed a much more amiable relationship. Today, two chancellors from each school told a gathering of business leaders that already the cooperation between the two is reaping bonuses.
The main message is that UAA and UAF are working together to try to address educational needs. We focused primarily on the engineering initiative, where we're trying to get new facilities for engineering in both Anchorage and Fairbanks, but we're really trying to cooperate on a wide variety of initiatives.
The more effectively we can work together, the better we're going to be able to do our jobs. And there are many signs of progress that the legislators seem to really appreciate us cooperating rather than competing on things.
Alaska is the land of the great outdoors, and those who work or play in remote areas don't always have the luxuries of home. Tomorrow evening, the Cooperative Extension at UAF will host a workshop for those hoping to learn about some of the new technologies available in remote locations. Included will be new inventions and ideas for campers, miners, fishing enthusiasts, or anyone who enjoys the outdoors. Now, the workshop runs from 5:30 to 8:30. Those wanting more information can visit uaf.edu/CES. And organizer Art Nash says these technologies can benefit those outside of Alaska as well.
They're used by NGOs, nonprofits that are helping people get off their feet. They're used by missionaries. And so if somebody is a part of an NGO or are missionaries and are on furlough, they may even pick up some things for themselves that they would use for the day-to-day living in a third or fourth world nation, that maybe they just use Alaska as a home base, but actually do work in those nations.
All right, when we come back, more on the subject of natural gas.
And this week's health report, those stories are next. Stay with us. And welcome back. In part 2 of his series on natural gas, News Center 11's Fred Brown explains the current state of the 2 entities hoping to service the areas outside of Fairbanks.
Some areas of Fairbanks are already being served with natural gas, but late last year the borough started to look for the best way to serve other areas of the interior.
The Interior Gas Utility Company, it was formed by the borough in November to try to have a company that would serve the unserved areas around the Fairbanks area, from Eielson, out Nordale Road, to Fox, to Esther, to Chena Ridge.
The Interior Gas Utility submitted their application to the Regulatory Commission of Alaska to service these areas this month. However, they were not the only application submitted.
Fairbanks Natural Gas has also applied for that, so right now things are tied up with the RCA as far as who's going to have the actual ability to provide that service the best to those residents. So that's, from my understanding, that's where things are at right now.
We'll be going through a process of evaluation with the RCA between now and probably October. And hopefully at that time, either Fairbanks Natural Gas or the Interior Gas Utility will be awarded that service area.
And the multiple applications could mean quicker service for the potential customers.
I believe the competition will be good for the consumer. We've had a gas utility that has had difficulty growing, and I think this competition will help this that community need be met faster.
Fred Brown, News Center 11.
Now, tomorrow night, Fred Brown wraps up his series by discussing the financial costs for those hoping to hook up to natural gas and propose legislation to ease the impact.
Yesterday, a team of 8 Army and 1 retired Army soldiers based out of the Northern Warfare Training Center and the Stryker Brigade were dropped off on the highest mountain in North America. The team is attempting a summit on Mount McKinley, and if they succeed, they will be the first in over a decade who have from the Northern Warfare Training Center. The training center has performed many tasks, including recovering the body of a young boy who died in a moulin on the Hoodoo Mountains during the Arctic Man. They say it's their training that makes their capabilities so versatile.
Well, the skill that it takes to operate in the mountains, and then the stuff that it took to recover Sean out of that crevasse, out of the moulin, it's all of them skills kind of feed off in each other, and it's what we train, it's what we teach. So the instructors that I have, they're just really masters of what they do.
We will have the full story on the summit to Mount McKinley tomorrow in our military report.
This month marks the 100th birthday of the American Cancer Society. Locally, Fairbanks Memorial Hospital and volunteers are celebrating the grand opening of the Cancer Resource Center. More now in this week's Health Report. For many years, cancer patients in the interior received treatment out of town, but no longer, as the J. Michael Carroll Cancer Treatment Center is now open at Fairbanks Memorial Hospital. Now, too, cancer patients and their families can receive care assistance and informational support with the grand opening of the Cancer Resource Center.
We have been in action now for about a month and a half. It's very rewarding every day that I spend here, because every day I leave feeling like I've helped someone, even if it's in the form of a warm blanket or maybe a thing of juice.
The all-volunteer staff for the Resource Center assist with picking up patients for their appointments, to wig fittings and makeup consultation. Additionally, volumes of information and online resources await those seeking answers.
American Cancer Society has noticed the need that we need to have volunteers in here that are able to help and assist newly diagnosed patients who have questions, who have concerns, who are up in the middle of the night thinking of all the things for themselves or their loved ones. And now the Cancer Resource Center is giving us a way that we can have volunteers here to help you, meet you there on your first doctor visit and walk you through the process and be the friend that's needed.
CRC volunteers and officials say the opening of the Resource Center finally combines state-of-the-art treatment services with nourishing emotional and guidance support for those battling cancer illnesses.
Cancer can be such an isolating and a scary thing for people. But the fact that we can stay home now, and you have your loved ones, and you have your friends, and you have your community, and this is such an amazing community to rally around you, to be here every step of the way, It's heartwarming all the time.
I know what it's like, and one of my highlights every day is to be able to go in those infusion labs and in the radiation labs and talk with the patients and offer them support and assistance if they need it.
The Health Report is brought to you by the Ear, Nose, and Throat Clinic, located in the Medical Dental Arts Building. Call 456-7768.
And we have to get this out there. The Cancer Resource Center will have their grand opening celebration tomorrow evening beginning at 5 p.m.
That's great. Now, Joe joins us with a sport I think that I know about, actually.
Oh,
soccer.
Really? Soccer? Wow.
I know about
I did
soccer.
not know that. Well, yeah, the state soccer
Again?
tournament brackets, they're set at the MSC Championships, and we'll see who is playing who. Also, a piece of video that has a bike and a rocket.
Oh.
And a local story about a local competitor who returned from near death, but he's still running. That and more coming up. Hello, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here in the Sports Euphoria this evening. Hope you're having a good day. And to make it a little bit better, let's talk some sports. Now that the Mid-Alaska Conference champions have been determined in boys and girls soccer, let's see who the West Valley girls and North Pole boys will be up against in the ASAA First National Bank State Soccer Tournament. The action starts Thursday with games at Eagle River and Chugiat High School. The Wolfpack, last year's state runner-up and this year's MAC champion for the 7th straight time, will face Colony at 2 o'clock at Eagle River High School. The big gun in the tournament is South Anchorage, who has won back-to-back state titles in girls soccer. In the boys bracket, the undefeated North Pole Patriots are making their first trip to the state tournament since 2006, and back then they finished 7th. This year, though, they will go up against West Anchorage at 7:15 this Thursday at Eagle River High School. Other teams of note, the Diamond Lynx, Juneau Douglas, and West, who finished 3rd last season. Best of luck to West Valley and North Pole. And the University of Alaska Fairbanks women's basketball team recently added to their team with some recruits. Autumn Childers out of Dewey, Arizona, signed her national letter of intent to join the Nanics last week. Childers is a 5'9" guard out of Prescott High School, where she was an all-region first teamer for 3 seasons. She averaged 12 points per game for her career, but averaged 17 points per game in her senior season. She had a 28-point, 15-rebound game as a career high. Childers led Prescott to 2 Final Fours in the Arizona State Tournament. Childers brings in a 4.0 GPA and plans to major in civil engineering. Childers joins Jordan Wilson of Henderson, Colorado, Kaylee Skilled out of Soldotna, and local product Josie Broderick of North Pole High School as the 4 recruits coming to UAF next season. And last week, we reported on Binti Heller, UAF's top swimmer, trying to make the German national team. Over the weekend, she completed step 1 at the Sockeye Spring Open in Federal Way, Washington. Heller turned in the top 50 free time at 26.82 second swim, which ranks her 15th in Germany. In the 100 free, Heller swam a personal best 57.76 second swim, which she got under the minute mark for the first time. That puts her 25th in Germany. In the 100 back, Heller swam just under 105, which is a couple seconds off the top 10 in Germany. Heller has 2 more meets to crack the top 10 German rankings in any event in order to make the national team. Her next meet starts May 31st for the Northern German Championships, followed by the German Championships in Berlin on June 12th. And on Sunday, up on the hill at UAF Patty Center, the Presbyterian Hospitality House had their annual fun run. This 5K fun run helps the mission of the Presbyterian Hospitality House, which aids troubled youth and families in the interior. George Rye-Miller's finish was the story of this race. Last year, Rye-Miller, 52 and Fairbanks resident of 5 years, suffered what doctors called sudden cardiac death for 18 minutes when he collapsed during a run at West Valley. This was Rye-Miller's second chance.
I've kept running in my life, and I'm just going to hopefully get stronger every day as each race goes by. So, but I'm blessed to be here. I had a great group of people at the running club that came to my rescue last year when I needed it, and did their CPR, kept me alive until the ambulance got there, and so it's been a life-changing experience. I sometimes wonder if that had happened to me in the lower 48, if people wouldn't have just walked over me and not came to my rescue. But these people have been great. I love this community.
And finally tonight, now that spring is here and summer around the corner, something for all of you dirt bike and ATV enthusiasts. Just listen to this. Now, please do not try this at home or anywhere else for that matter, but that's a dirt bike with a rocket attached to it. A group in France called Exotic Thermal Engineering attached a rocket with a special propellant to a dirt bike, and it reached speeds over 160 miles per hour to set a new record for a dirt bike. Imagine that on the Richardson Highway. And now the thought of that does sound pretty fun, but you won't catch me on that at all. And that'll do it for sports tonight. Thanks for rocking with me for a little while. For more KTVS Sports, log on to Twitter, YouTube, webcenter11.com. You can also get our mobile app. Stay cool, Alaska. Mike Schultz has your full weather forecast coming up next, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into the Fairbanks Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again for a look at the weather, and boy, this was really a nice day today. Lots of sunshine. You know what? It's going to continue. We're looking at temperatures that could be the low to mid 70s this weekend. We'll tell you more about that good news in just a little bit. Bad news was what happened to Judy Kreider. She was involved in a blizzard on the highway, the Denali Highway. This is what it looked like, and this was last week, and we know what that was like. But the good news is no more snow to worry about. If you have a photograph to share, by all means, send it to Mike Schultz at KTVF11.com. Right now at the airport, 61 degrees after a high of 63. The low last night, 29. Record high, 82 in 2002. Record low, 25, 1964. Sunrise this morning was at 4:07, and the sun sets this evening, 11:33, giving us 19 hours and 25 minutes of daylight, a gain of 7 minutes from yesterday. Our satellite picture, once again, showing the high-pressure area really protecting all the clouds from moving in on the Fairbanks area. Mostly high clouds for the most part. There's no real organized system, but again, high pressure really dominating the overall weather for most of the state. As you can see here, temperatures warming back up again over southeast Alaska, 66 degrees at Ketchikan. A little chilly around Kodiak, 48 degrees there. Also 48 at Cold Bay. Raining at Nome, 36 degrees. And some mixed rain and snow shower activity up at Barrow, 38 degrees. Nice day at Fort Yukon, 57 degrees. Lower 48 weather, a lot better news to pass along today. There were thunderstorms, but not as bad as they were yesterday. No reports of any tornadoes yet. That's good news. We have rain over the Pacific Northwest on the satellite and radar. You can see, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. What happened across the lower 48 today was there were severe thunderstorms, but nothing near the tenacity that was yesterday. It was incredible on the satellite and radar. Well, I guess we'll talk about that later on. On our overall late week forecast, as you can see, the jet stream once again will be remaining way to the north, allowing a lot of humidity and warm temperatures and very nice weather out to the west to continue. There's our satellite and radar. I knew it was there. And the thunderstorms that were there yesterday over Oklahoma moving off to the east, that's good news. More rain across the Pacific Northwest and some activity across the Great Lakes too. All right, back to Alaska for tomorrow. For the northern sections, flurries at Barrow, rain in Nome. Fort Yukon will see lots of sunshine. Here in the interior, we're looking at some very nice weather. In fact, mostly sunny for Fairbanks, decreasing clouds in Healy. Over southeast Alaska, not too bad. Sunny skies at Juneau, just a few clouds in there for Ketchikan. Temperatures in the low to mid 60s. Over to the southwest, looks like rain showers for Cold Bay and rainy conditions expected at Bethel and Kodiak. So that's the worst weather in the state. Over the south central regions, it looks like clouds for Anchorage and Homer, more sunshine in Valdez. Okay, time to look at our pollen count for today. The folks at the Tanana Valley Clinic still say the trees are medium levels. Mold is working its way up toward the medium levels. Weeds and grass are still low levels. Here's your forecast for tonight. 32 degrees, freezing, warmer with mostly clear skies. Tomorrow's forecast calling for 64, another day with lots of sunshine and even warmer temperatures on the 5-day outlook, 70 by Friday, and temperatures warming to the mid to upper 70s by Sunday and Monday into Memorial Day. Overnight lows also warming up to the 40-degree mark, even 45 degrees, and things are looking a lot better. As I said last night, for once, it's not a false alarm. I think we're actually going to see spring.
Very good.
Yeah.
That is really good news, Mike. 70 degrees. I'm happy for that.
I think you are with that dress you have on.
I am,
Nice
and your
springy
sunshine
dress.
tie.
My sunshine tie, yes.
All right, KTVF and Bailey's Furniture are teaming up for a Spring Dream giveaway where you can win a furniture package from Bailey's worth $2,500.
Watch our newscast for the first half of Mystery Word.
Then visit Bailey's for the second half and complete your entry form.
We'll announce the lucky winner during the Fairbanks Evening News this coming Friday, and that will wrap up this Tuesday edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We're glad you could join us.
We invite you to tune in for a special 49th report Saturday, May 25th at 7:30 p.m. right here on Channel 11. It's called The State of Fish in Alaska.
You can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
That will do it from all of us here at the News Center. Going to leave you tonight with some scenes of the Cheetah River. Have a good night. We'll see you back here at 11.